let's learn how to put those sources in the right order for a works cited or bibliography page. I'm going to use these 4 sources that I've used in my pretend essay about cats and monsters. And for right now, I'm going to just take one note card at a time, and I'm going to type it into my works cited page. So here's a new document. I'm going to say works cited, and I'm going to hit return. And I'm going to come back in a minute and center that works cited page. But for now, I'm going to start with my first source. Here's how it goes. Author goes last name, comma, first name. Period. Title. If it's the title of a book, it's going to be in italics. So I've italicized. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Period. Stop italicizing. Now, this is a print book, so it's time for the publishing information. It goes in this order. Place, London, colon, publisher, comma, year, period. That's it. What about the page number? I used page 24 in my essay. Doesn't matter. That's why you put it in the in-text citations. You tell me exactly which page you used. Here in the works cited page, I'm just saying, hey, pick this book up. It's the book I used. I could have used more than one page in my essay because I would have cited each of those pages individually. That's all I need. Okay, let's do another book. How about The Monster at the End of This Book by John Stone? Let's go through the routine again. I'm going to make some space for myself. We'll talk about the proper order that these go on the page. I'm just putting each citation in order, in its own order right now. Author, last name, comma, first name, period. Book title, in italics, period. Stop italics. Publishing information. First, we need the place, that is the city, the company, colon, company, comma, year. I used page 11. Doesn't matter in the works cited page. Don't put those page numbers in there. Okay. Now, let's try something else. Let's try a different source. How about the one here at the bottom of the page? Cathedral Cats of England. I made a note to myself that I couldn't find the author. So we just don't put one. I start with the next thing, the title. If there's no author, start with the title. Okay? Cathedral Cats of England. Why am I putting this in quotes and not in italics? Because this is a single web page. It's a smaller source. It's not part of a huge website. Okay, that's a small of distinction. If you put it in italics, nobody's going to probably yell at you. Okay, there's no author, but it looks like it was created in 2015, so I'm going to put that year. Then I'm going to put the URL, and I'm actually going to cheat and copy and paste that if I can. I might not be able to. Nope. Adobe says no. Okay, I'll type it myself. http://cathedrals.co.uk. Okay. Now, I need to put the date that I accessed it. Let's see. The last time I looked at that source was August 1st, 2024. Period. All right, all of the information that I have is separated by periods. I don't have an author, so I start with the title. Let's check out this last source. Cat Parade in Images. All right, this time I did find a creator of the website, so I'm going to start with the author, or the creator name. Orwell, comma, George, period. The website, Cat Parade in Images, period. I've got, I did find it by looking carefully at the URL that it is was created in 1984, period. The URL, http://co.co.uk. All right, and let's see, when was the last time I checked that source? The last time I accessed it was August 10th. Okay, here are the 4 sources that I used for this paper. There are specific formats for other sources, like a journal article. Let me show you what that would be. I'll look one up here. It's going to be the author of the article is Jemima Jones. The title of the article was Cats That Play. I put article titles in quotes. The journal or magazine, the journal that it came from, is going to go in italics. There it is. Now, most journals have extra information. We talked about that when we first talked about citations. So, I'm now going to put volume 3, number, I guess I can abbreviate, can't I? Volume 3, number 2. And for the journal, we have to put all the pages that the whole article was, not just the page that I used. It started on page 24 and it went to page 46. Period. Okay? But now I went ahead and looked up one of the composers that I was writing about in an encyclopedia. How do I cite an encyclopedia entry? I mean, I looked up Giacomo Rossini, but there's no author. It's just the editors of this encyclopedia. Is that what I put? Here's what you do. If there's no author for what you looked up in a dictionary or an encyclopedia, start with what you looked up. That's the leading edge, what we call the lemata. The leading edge, the thing you looked up, and I put it in quotes. So I looked up Giacomo Rossini, period, end quote. Now the name of the encyclopedia, in italics. If there was a volume number, say it was a print encyclopedia, I would put that. Volume 10. And then I would put the pages that that article was in that print encyclopedia. Okay? What if that encyclopedia was online? Well, then there wouldn't be a volume number. There would be a URL. And there would probably be a publishing date as well. So probably we would say, oh, that was from 1999. Let's just say, whoops, italics, no. And then I would put the slash, that's probably what it would look like. And I would put the access date. Okay, so those are most of the kinds of sources that you're going to encounter. But we're not done with our Works Cited page. Now we have to take each of these sources and put them in the right order on the page itself. They don't go in the order that they got used in the essay. Just stay on this page and put them in alphabetical order. Alphabetical by what? By whatever you started each entry with. Okay? Cathedral Cats of England. That is the highest in the alphabet. That starts with C. So I'm going to drag it up here. Okay, after C, what comes next in the alphabet? Not S, not O, not J. Aha, this is the next entry that comes alphabetically. Let's see if I can do that correctly. I'm going to make an extra space between each line. There's a reason to do that. Okay, keep going. Jones, Jemima. You can cut and paste, you can drag. It kind of just depends on whatever you are best used at. By the way, I'm going to save. Well, I'll do that later. Famous last words. I'll save it later. Okay, next is going to be the O for Orwell. Okay. And then we have Scamander, S. Ooh, Stone and Scamander, which one comes first? Well, after S comes C, after S comes T. So Scamander comes before Stone, correctly alphabetized. Now, I'm going to show you something else here. And I'm going to do it first by increasing the font size of my page so that it's more realistic. Okay. Two things. Let's make sure that this title, Works Cited, is centered. I'm going to highlight that line, go to the justification, and I'm going to hit center just for that title. Everything else is flush with the left margin, but now is where it gets fancy. Notice how Cathedral Cats of England, that entry drags on to the next line, and Giacomo Rossini drags on to the next line. This is kind of messy. So what I'm going to do is create a hanging indent. A hanging indent means the first line of the paragraph touches the left margin, and all the other lines of that group of words are indented. Watch this. I put my cursor at the beginning of the second line. I hit return. Nothing happened, but trust me on this. Now I hit the tab key. Oh, look at that beautiful indent. The first line is touching the left margin, but the next line is indented. Let's try it on Giacomo Rossini's line. Put your cursor at the M in music, because that's sticking over. Hit return and tab. Beautiful. It's like a little exercise. I go here to the Jones entry, return and tab. Don't forget to breathe. George Orwell, August, return and tab. Repeat. Obscurus books, return and tab. Fantastic. John Stone didn't go on to the next line, so don't have to worry about it. I'm going to hit save. Good idea. Works cited. It's a good idea to know where you've saved your files to. Let's see what happens in a different, in a different essay that we've already looked at. Early on in the course of citations, we put the citations in text here, according to what they were. And so now I just want to show you that I've gone ahead and created a Works Cited page. I'm actually going to call this a bibliography page because here I've used two sources in my bibliography that I didn't actually cite in my essay. I didn't have any direct quotes or paraphrases from those sources, but they're kind of useful and relevant. They were in the back of my mind while I was writing the essay, so I've included them. It's sort of like an added bonus feature reel. So that's great. Let's just take a second and look at this bibliography and notice how things work. First of all, I notice that each entry that has an author starts with the author's name, last name, comma, first name. I notice that titles are in italics when they're books or big collections, but when they're web pages, they're in quotation marks. That happens a couple times. I notice that when there is no author, like Feast Day Catalog, I just started with Feast Day Catalog. Okay. I notice that here I've used an entry on Hector Berlioz from an encyclopedia. There was no author. I didn't put the editors of Grove Online. I just put Hector Berlioz because that's who I looked up. That was what I looked up in the encyclopedia. The article name was this guy that I looked up. Every entry in this bibliography has all those bits of information separated by periods. So author name, period. title, period. In this case, information about the YouTube video, or information about the publishing. All of those things are separated by periods. What about the whole list? It's in alphabetical order. It's not the order that I used in the essay. If I review my essay, I used the Butler source first, then the feast day catalog, then DiGiulio and DiGiulio. Well, let's give this a look. The Butler source, well, that's not first anymore because I had these other two sources that I didn't even use, that I didn't quote. I just put them in, okay? Butler. DiGiulio, wait a minute, I used the feast day catalog second. Doesn't matter. In the bibliography or the works cited, they always go alphabetically. Should I number these? Should I maybe go like 1, Bernstein, 2, Hector Berlioz? No, nope, should not. I should just let the letters of the alphabet speak for themselves. Only alphabetize. No bullet points, no letters, not in the order that you used in the essay. It's just alphabetical. That's it.